The day my husband collapsed on our wedding anniversary, I handed him divorce papers. That wasn't the dramatic part. The dramatic part was that I didn't feel anything. My name is Lydia. I'm 36. And for most of my marriage, I wasn't a wife. I was unpaid staff. Caleb liked to remind me who paid for everything. "You're lucky," he'd say lightly. "Without me, you'd have nowhere to go." At first, he was charming, attentive, protective. After we married, he asked me to quit my job, said we didn't need two incomes, said he wanted me focused on building our home. I thought that meant security. It meant dependency. If dinner was 5 minutes late, he'd tap his watch without looking at me. If his shirt had a crease, he'd hand it back. "Try again." Once, he made me re-iron the same shirt 3 times because the collar looked careless. In front of friends, he joked that I retired early. Everyone laughed. I laughed too. At home, he'd say, "Don't embarrass me by acting helpless. You contribute nothing here." He controlled the money. My card worked, but every purchase sent a notification to his phone. If I spent too much on groceries, he'd ask for receipts. He never hit me. He just erased me slowly. The last time he waved divorce papers during an argument, he leaned close and said, "Sign it. Without me, you don't even exist." 3 days before the ambulance, I sat in a lawyer's office, quiet, shaking. I signed real divorce papers and kept them in my bag. I wasn't brave. I was exhausted. The morning he collapsed, he was yelling about a missing sock. He was late for golf. He forgot it was our anniversary. Again. "Call an ambulance," he shouted when he fell, clutching his stomach. "Hurry up. For once, be useful," I called. The paramedics arrived quickly. They placed him on a stretcher. One of them turned to me. "You're his wife, right? You coming?" Caleb looked at me like I was air he needed to breathe. And for a second, just a second, I almost stepped forward. Habit is powerful. Then I remembered the receipts. The collar. The way he said I didn't exist without him. So I reached into my bag, pulled out the divorce papers. "No," I said. My voice shook, but I didn't move. "I'm not coming." His expression changed. But that moment didn't end our marriage. It ended something much smaller. What truly destroyed it happened 6 months earlier when his mother got sick. And that's where this really begins. 6 months before the ambulance, Caleb's mother collapsed in her yard. I was the one who answered the call, not him. By the time he arrived at the hospital, I had already spoken to the doctors, signed forms, and sat through the first update alone. When he walked in, he transformed. Tears, urgency. "I'll do anything for my mom." He held her hand like a devoted son. I watched him perform grief beautifully. A week later, when she was stable, I said, "We should prepare the apartment so she can recover comfortably." He didn't look up from his phone. "There's no point. I canceled our lease." The words didn't register at first. "You what? We're moving into Mom's house. It's bigger. She'll need help. This just makes sense." "You canceled it without asking me." He sighed, annoyed, not apologetic. "I'm the one paying rent. Don't make this dramatic." That was the moment I understood something had shifted. Not the move, the authority. We weren't relocating together. I was being reassigned. The house was quiet and old. His mother needed constant assistance, medication schedules, bathing support, help standing, help turning in bed. Caleb promised, "We'll divide it fairly." The first week he tried. By week 3, he was working late. By week 5, he was rarely home before midnight. When I asked for help one evening, not even a complaint, just help, he didn't look away from the television. "You're home all day. Don't act overwhelmed." Home all day. As if lifting a grown woman alone didn't count. As if sleep didn't count. But exhaustion wasn't the breaking point. The breaking point came during a family visit. His aunt hugged me and said, "You're so devoted. Caleb told us you insisted on moving in, said you wanted to prove yourself." I felt my stomach drop. Later that night, I asked him directly, "Why would you say that?" He shrugged. "It sounds better." "Better for who?" "For everyone. Stop being sensitive." That's when it became clear. He wasn't overwhelmed. He wasn't stressed. He was protecting his image, and I was the unpaid solution. But the week his mother died, he crossed a line that had nothing to do with caregiving, and everything to do with replacing me in my own story. That's when I stopped being tired and started paying attention. Caleb's mother died on a Tuesday morning. I found her. I had gone in to help her sit up for breakfast the way I did every day. She didn't respond. Her skin was cold. I called Caleb first. He didn't answer. I called an ambulance. Then I called him again. By the time he arrived, it was already over. At the hospital, he cried loudly, held his head, told everyone he had done everything he could. No one asked where he'd been the night before. The funeral was small, quiet, respectable. Caleb stood at the front like the grieving son he had practiced being. I stood behind him, invisible again. 3 days after the funeral, Caleb told me we needed to talk logistics, not feelings. Logistics, he said it casually like he was discussing groceries. Mom left some things to sort out. I've already spoken to the lawyer. That caught my attention. You spoke to a lawyer, I asked. About what? The house, the accounts. It's all straightforward. I waited for him to include me. He didn't. That night after he fell asleep, I went into his office. I wasn't snooping. I was confirming a feeling. On his desk was a folder with his name on it. Inside were documents from the attorney, power of attorney, transfer forms, and a draft plan outlining the house, his mother's house, listed under his name only. My hands started shaking. There was a note attached in his handwriting. Temporary living arrangement for Lydia. 6 months maximum. Temporary, like I was a guest, like I hadn't lived there, worked there, slept in 2-hour intervals for months. The next morning, I asked him directly, "What happens to me?" He didn't hesitate. "You'll figure something out," he said. "I can't support 2 people forever." Support? As if I hadn't been supporting his life this entire time. "As soon as probate clears, I'm selling the house," he added. "It's cleaner that way." Cleaner for him, disappearing for me. That was the moment something shifted permanently. Not because he was cruel, but because he was efficient. He had already decided my exit. Quietly, legally, without a conversation. And that's when I understood something terrifying. The ambulance scene wasn't the beginning. It was the end of a plan he had already finished writing. And the next move was mine. I didn't confront him again. That would have warned him. Instead, I apologized. It surprised him. "I overreacted," I said calmly. "You're right, we'll figure something out." He relaxed immediately. That told me everything. For the next week, I watched. Not emotionally, logically. I memorized where he kept the probate folder. I noted which attorney he was using. I paid attention to dates, filing deadlines, court appearances, property evaluations. If he was planning my exit quietly, I needed to understand the timeline. One afternoon, while organizing his mother's bedroom, I found something he had missed. Not hidden, just overlooked. A small metal box in the back of the closet. Inside were old documents, insurance statements, and an envelope addressed in shaky handwriting. It wasn't a sentimental letter. It was a notarized addendum to her will, dated 2 months before her collapse. I read it twice to make sure I understood it correctly. The house was to be transferred to Caleb, yes, but under one condition. If he sold the property within 1 year of her death, a fixed percentage of the sale would go to Lydia in recognition of caregiving support. Recognition of caregiving support. It wasn't charity, it was documented, signed, witnessed, notarized. He hadn't mentioned it, which meant one of 2 things. He hadn't read everything carefully, or he assumed I never would. I photographed every page. Then I placed it back exactly where I found it. That night at dinner, I asked casually, "When do you plan to sell the house?" "As soon as probate clears," he said. "Why?" "No reason," I replied, but now I had leverage. He thought efficiency made him untouchable. He forgot something important. Efficiency only works when you control all the information. For the first time in our marriage, I wasn't reacting. I was calculating. And when probate finalized 3 weeks later, he made his move exactly as planned. He listed the house. What he didn't know was that I had already spoken to his lawyer. Caleb listed the house exactly when he said he would. Professional photos, clean description. Recently maintained property. Recently maintained. That part almost made me smile. 2 weeks after the listing went live, he received a call from his lawyer. I wasn't in the room, but I knew the timing. Because 3 days earlier, I had emailed scanned copies of the addendum with the notarization and witness signatures clearly attached. I didn't threaten, I didn't accuse. I simply asked the attorney to confirm that the clause would be enforced upon sale. He called me back within the hour. Yes, he said carefully. If the property is sold within 1 year of death, the caregiving allocation must be distributed before proceeds are finalized. Must, not optional. When Caleb met with him, the tone changed. The sale could proceed, but the percentage outlined in the addendum would be transferred directly to me at closing. Not later, not negotiable. At dinner that night, Caleb's voice was measured. You knew about it. Yes, I said. You went to the lawyer. Yes. He studied my face like he was trying to locate the version of me he used to manage. It wasn't there. That money won't last you long, he said finally. I don't need it to, I replied. The house sold 3 weeks later. At closing, the transfer happened exactly as documented. Recognition of caregiving support. The phrase felt different when it was wired into my account, not because of the amount, because of what it represented. Proof. He had planned my exit efficiently, quietly, but he forgot something small. His mother had been watching longer than he realized. After the sale, I didn't argue. I didn't celebrate. I handed him the divorce papers, the real ones. He didn't fight this time. 6 months later, he showed up at my parents' house once. Thinner, disorganized, asking if we could start over. I told him no, not coldly, just clearly. The house was gone. The marriage was finalized. And for the first time in years, my life was not temporary. It was mine.